Hey, it's Joe AMoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Have you ever had a relationship that ended and then you tried to stay friends with your ex? Well, how did that work out? Well, it's at this point you're probably going, yeah, Joe, not so good. And I totally get it. Well, today we're going to talk about why trying to stay friends with your ex is a really bad idea. Now, before I start explaining why I believe it's a bad idea, let me preface this by saying I'm not saying that you can't be friends with your ex. Okay. What I'm saying is that the majority of the time it's very bad behavior. And the reason being, and let's use this analogy. If you were to jump off a 5-story building, the odds are that you would get hurt, right? And if we looked at that, we would say, why would you do something like that? Like it's very risky and dangerous behavior. And I think being friends with your ex works the same way. Now, I'm not saying that people can't jump off a 5-story building and survive and not get hurt. But the reality is, for everyone who doesn't get hurt, there are hundreds, if not thousands, who get hurt and hurt really bad. And I believe that's how being friends with your ex works the same way. Because what happens is when two people are in a relationship, invariably, one of those individuals didn't want the relationship to end. And so that person is simply holding on and using the friendship as an excuse to keep that other person in their life. When the reality is that other person doesn't want a relationship, doesn't want intimacy, doesn't want that emotional connection. So the person who is holding on is living in a world of delusion and illusion because they believe that this relationship is going to turn back into something that it's never going to turn into. And that's where the pain comes, is because you start wasting your time on a person and on a relationship that's never going to lead to the result that you really want. Now, if you're at that point where you're just like, you know what, I don't want anything more than a friendship from this person, and you realize that they don't want anything more than a friendship from you, can you be friends? Absolutely. Happens all the time. But the reality is the majority of people, when relationships end, there's always that one person who wants more from the relationship. And I also believe that as human beings, we tend to be our own worst enemies. You know what I'm talking about, right? And so invariably, if you don't want to be in a relationship with someone and they want a relationship with you, by keeping them around, by having a friendship with them, you're allowing them to live in their world of fantasy. Okay, you're allowing them to buy into the delusion that it's going to turn back into something that they want. And so basically, you're doing that person a disservice. So I believe in being honest. I believe in the golden rule, treating others the way you want to be treated. And so if you realize that, you know what, this person wants more from a relationship from me, and they're never going to get that, but they're not getting the picture. They don't understand that. They keep thinking that it's going to turn into something that it's not. Do them a favor and let them go. Say, you know what, I'm sorry, this just isn't working. And just be honest with them. And they might not like it now, but I promise you, they'll respect you down the road. My philosophy is that I'd rather be respected than liked. If I know that I'm doing what's right and best in my heart to help another person and they don't like it now, but it's in their best interest, well, I'd rather them respect me down the road than like me today. Does that make sense? And so I just want you to understand that being friends with your ex, especially if you have feelings for them and you want things to go back to where they were, or you're afraid you're never going to find what you really want, is actually working against you. But that's just my thoughts. It's just my feelings, just my opinions, based on what I've seen and experienced in this thing called life. But I'd love to hear what you think. What's been your experience? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you tried it? Has it worked? Has it not? All you need to do is simply scroll down to the box below, share your thoughts, comments, and feelings on being friends with your ex. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.